Hello, sinners. It is I, Father Evil, and I invite you to Destination Station on YouTube.
Bagels and go to Destination Station. This buddy is the bomb.
Yep.
Love him.
Yep.
Fucking A.
Yep.
I had to say that for a reason.
Freddie, take that, motherfucker.
All right. Okay. Fuck you. Jamie Kennedy. Subscribe to my man, Destination Station, right now if you want the best content.
What's up? Welcome to Destination Station. As always, I'm Destin. Thank you for clicking on this video. Subscribe to Destination Station if you want Scream, Halloween, and everything in between. And today we're talking about the last voyage of the Demeter. And also, if you want to be a part of the conversation or anything, or any of my live streams, the links are down in the description below. You can follow me on all my socials. So yes, stick around for a little bit. Hit that subscribe button. But today I want to talk about the last voyage of Demeter and give you my thoughts and pretty much review. I usually do right out of the theater reviews, but I kind of wanted to touch on this one just a little bit more and give some more details of what I think about the film. And this film is it's all over the place. It feels like it's like a mixed bag of how people are receiving it. I know it's not really doing that well in financially at the box office, but it also didn't have a whole lot of marketing surrounding it. But I've had my eye on it pretty much for a while now, and I was like, oh, this looks like old school vampire horror that I've been eager to have in my life. So yeah, me and the wife, we went out and we saw this, I think last Thursday night, and kind of let it simmer a little bit and think about it. And it's not a movie that's like deep in thought or anything like that, but we did check it out. We had, you know, like a younger audience mainly in the theater, and I think a lot of the younger audience is kind of thinking that this movie is more on the boring side, or just didn't have, you know, enough action to it. Didn't keep them engaged, I guess. You know, with other movies that's come out recently, you know, with Talk to Me and The Blackening and all these like really exciting horror movies or horror comedies or anything like that, it's kind of hard to come off of that and then come to this. I mean, the last disappointment of a horror movie that I had that I felt that was kind of on the boring side was the Insidious, The Red Door. But, you know, I didn't hate it. You know, I don't trash movies just because they're a slow burn or something like that. I actually prefer that, I guess, in my older age. I don't know if that's just me, you know, showing my age in films. I kind of like it for it to take its time. And I kind of appreciated that with this movie. And some of the action, as far as like when the gore hits or the vampire violence, it works. You know, this is more like a period piece, and this is a story that's been floating around Hollywood for quite some time, and it's based off the captain's log. You know, I've never read the story, but it does, you know, I can see where this was some sort of story and everything, just the way the movie is structured, and I liked it. It has like a really good cast. There's moments that it does have like mood and atmosphere, and that's one thing that I did like about it. It is kind of tragic in moments, but yes, it is a slow burn. It takes its time, and everything feels high budget, whether it be low budget or not. It does feel like this was something that like was taken with care. And, you know, I don't like to trash movies, especially when the filmmaker is trying to put out a really good product. And I feel like that's what they tried to give us, was a really good product. They weren't trying to give us like this bloated action horror movie. They were trying to stretch this story out for, you know, 2 hours or however long it was. It does feel longer than it is. There is a moment in the movie where I kind of felt like, okay, let's pick it up a pace, because every time it felt like we were going to get going, it kind of like slowed back down until the following night, and then we got up again. And, you know, it was like one of those movies that was kind of like up and down, and you kind of didn't know where to go. But I did like this movie overall. I think if you are a horror fan or a vampire horror fan, I think you will enjoy this movie. I've always had, I've always loved my creature feature violence. And that's what I got from this movie, is that, this is like the scariest Dracula's ever been in years. You think back to some of the other Dracula adaptations that they made, or, like The Invitation. Like, that was I had high hopes for that, and it was just, it wasn't that great, but, I feel like moviegoers today don't appreciate real...
Hey, get to the damn fucking part.
Like art, or appreciate like this feels like something that was brought out of the late 90s, early 2000s or something. And no, it didn't have that flair to where it's like, feels like it's almost like an action horror movie. It's like, it's just the vampire violence is few and far between, and it's more about the story of the people on the boat, and we do spend a lot of times with that. And that's one thing I do appreciate as well, is there's a lot of character development, and there's moments like with the mood and atmosphere, like when they're eating at like the dinner table or something like that. I was like, ooh, I'm kind of getting the Thing vibes, I thought that was kind of cool. And that's the kind of stuff that I miss in my cinema. Yes, I do feel like it needed that extra little umph to like let's kick ass. Let's have a kick ass climax. Let's have this kick ass moment, and it wasn't one of those movies to where it does gradually build, but it's like a lot of like, oh, we did something, oh, we're back down, and we're in a lot of discussions. Oh, we had some creature feature violence, some action, and then it dips back down. It does have a lot of that, and I think that's what's the disconnect with the audiences. If this movie was just like a gradually build to where it's just like, going balls to the wall and to the very ending, I think it'd be a lot more received. But I do want this movie to be successful, so maybe it'll find like a cult following, or like more people that'll be on board with it whenever it hits on, video on demand or something like that. It's competing with Oppenheimer and Barbie and all these big movies in the theater right now. And I feel like this is a pretty decent approach to the Dracula genre. It's a great concept, of Dracula, his from point A to point B and being in the middle of the sea. That's pretty terrifying. There's a lot of cool, like I said, like mood and atmosphere all over this movie, with like the rain and the fog and the storms and stuff like that. Like, I really, really appreciate that. And Dracula looks pretty damn badass in this, but it's not being well received, as far as like a lot of moviegoers are thinking that it's just boring, and everybody is just in this like phase of like, it just has to be like an action-packed horror movie from beginning to end. And that's just not what you get with this movie, and I'm just going to be honest with you. But if you do appreciate cinema, and you do appreciate mood and atmosphere in your movie, and you kind of don't mind a good little slow burn, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. This is one of the better, if not one of the best, Dracula adaptations that we've ever had. Yeah, we got Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's great. We have I even like Wes Craven's Dracula 2000. Like that was, but that movie was pretty action packed. And some of the recent vampire films, we really haven't had a really good one lately, and this one hits, for me at least. I really don't understand, like, especially if you're like a horror junkie like I am. I think that you will find some sort of appreciation with this, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't like to shit on a film just for it to be boring. It might be a one-time watch for a lot of people, but you have to appreciate what the filmmakers were at least trying to achieve. And I felt like they did achieve it. It just could have been a little bit more exciting of a journey. And so, yeah, I really like this. I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to it, which, depending on the numbers, we might not ever get. But it's one of those movies that I feel like is made for a more mature and older audience, you know, not for somebody that's going in for a bunch of popcorn fun. And there is fun to be had at moments in this movie, but like I said, it's more of a tragic story. It's more of a serious tone. It's more of a slower burn from beginning to end. And honestly, I want to watch it again, but I want to watch it with subtitles on, because I think that might be part of the disconnect, because their accents are very thick in this movie. And a lot of times they're talking back and forth, and I was like, wait a minute, what did they just say? I didn't catch the full grasp of that conversation, or what what that character just said. So I think subtitles. I know some theaters do have subtitle theaters. That might be the best way to watch this film. I did not watch it that way, so I am looking forward to watching this when it is available on purchasing it on digital or on physical media, and watching it with subtitles on, and that might be a little bit better. So like, those are the two things that I feel like that might be disconnects with moviegoers, is the slower burn and the thick accents, as far as like not understanding everything. I mean, like, there's a lot that you can't understand. They're definitely talking English, but it's just really thick accents and a lot of conversations going on. And so yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I don't really rate movies. I tell you, yes, go see it, but I would say that yes, go see this movie, or wait to buy it or watch it digitally. But it may be a one-time watch for everybody. I'd like to know your thoughts about this movie if you had a chance to go see it. Go check it out. I really don't think it's getting the recognition it deserves. I actually enjoyed this. I appreciated it, and I'm glad that we got a more serious Dracula movie. That's all I can say. And a more serious vampire movie. That's what I've been wanting for years. I hope we get more stuff that is taken more seriously. Just has a little bit more life into it, you know, a little bit more bite, I guess you would say. All right, guys. This is Destination Station. Let me know what you think about the Voyage of the Last Demeter down below, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.